Alright, parts came in for this Massey. Last time we worked on it, we threw a new battery in it, and I tried getting it running with the parts that were in it, and then it just got to the point where, like, why am I trying to make this thing run if I'm replacing everything? This is the tune-up kit we're using, Sparix parts. This is going to fit everything from TO-30 up to Massey 150. Came with pre-made spark plug wires, which is big because you don't have to cut. Usually they'll come with like just lengths of spark plug wire. You got to cut it to length, put the boots on it, crimp the ends on. Sometimes you don't get a good crimp, and it's, you know, so don't have to worry about with that. With this, here we have our point condensers and the rotor. I bought a carb kit for it that's sitting right here. New spark plugs. Cap. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start, I already have this all apart, we're going to pull a condenser out and do the points. So let's put a new condenser out first. So that's real easy. That is just, if I can find the screwdriver, just had 2 seconds ago. Make sure your battery's off, or your power's off rather, so you don't arc off against anything. Let that hang there. And then all I need is a 1/4-inch wrench. I think it's a 1/4 inch at least. Grab a 5/16 too. Someone has to make some trips. I'll show you what I'm doing here. So your condenser is just going to sit in here like this. There's a flathead screw. You just pull that out. And then I'm going to set this screw right here. That's your insulating block. Wedged in there between that nut is the tab for your points, and then this little terminal for your condenser. So you're going to loosen that nut up. And I don't have it loosened up yet, so we're going to keep going on it. How about now? There we go. This is out. This condenser looks pretty new, although I guess it would if you had the elements. So we're going to pull that out. And then we're going to pull, take my screwdriver. We're going to take this screw right here out. And then there's another screw in there. I don't know if I had to pull that out, but this is coming right out without it. Get that little tail off of there. That's kind of hard to do one-handed. All right, I had to pause the video there because I couldn't get the points in there one-handed. Then I got carried away, put the condenser back in, hooked everything up. So now what we're gonna do is gap the points while we have this all apart. It's pretty straightforward. What you're gonna do is turn the motor over until these lobes right here on the shaft, there's 4 lobes, you want them to be touching that red spacer right there on the points. When that's touching, that is going to be, you know, let me get my light out of here. There we go, that's better. So there's a red spacer right here. When that's touching, that is going to adjust what your gap is for your points there. So that's the first thing you want to do. So we're gonna turn this over. I do a little better than that. There we go. So that lobe, if you can see that, that lobe is pretty much centered, pretty close, well, close enough to that. So now what you're going to do is take your feeler gauge. Our points are supposed to be 0.022. So my feeler gauge is MIA, of course. Oh, right here on the seat. Oh, right up to it. Oh, 0.22. So now what we're going to do is set that gap right there, and that's that's actually right where it's got to be. Couldn't do that again. So I'm glad I got that on camera. So now that's where it's got to be. I'm gonna actually set the camera up wherever you're gonna stay. How about that? I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to leave it in there just so it doesn't move while I tighten this down. Then you're just going to tighten that screw up. Just like that. Now your points are gapped. So that takes care of all this. Now we're gonna throw our dust cover on here. I'm gonna spin that till that locks in, like so. And then grab my new rotor out of the bag here. That's got a little mark on the inside there, so that I'm going to spin that around till it catches. Is that it? Yep. That's got to be it there, I guess. It's tight, so I couldn't tell if it went into that keyway there or not. Now we're going to take our new cap, put the cap on there. This should spin until it locks in like so. I'm going to lock that up. Awesome. Take two. There, that's on there. Like that. There, both locked in. So now what I'm going to do is set you up over here. I'm going to plug my phone back in too, because she's kind of dead. It's probably going to cut off the middle of the video. There we go. Let's see if we can zoom in there. Nice. I'm just one at a time. Pull this wire off here. And we're going to match these up. They're all different lengths depending on, what plug it's going to. So this one here is kind of long, so is this one here. Nice and snug. Pull plug number 4 out. Doesn't look bad, a little stood up, but not bad. We're going to gap these plugs too, according to this. Gap should be 0.025. Grabs the rack and throw it on the ground. Now 0.025, we're going to find on our feeler gauge here. And actually that's, I almost wonder if these are like pre-gapped or something, because that was right on the money. Usually you got to gap these. So by the time this is all together, the only thing I won't have replaced would be this coil right here. So you can get a generic coil at any auto parts store. I'm gonna run it with this just to see if I need to get one or not. Again, this tractor hasn't run in 2 years, so I've been sitting outside of the field who knows if that's any good or not, but didn't come with kits. I'm just not gonna bother putting one in there. Doesn't feel what's going on there. Definitely not going on there. Little end came off spark plug. Alright, off to a great start with that one. So I'm going to thread that on there. I couldn't figure out why this wasn't grabbing. There we go. So now we're going to do this one here. That looks good. Looked at this plug already. This one's in better shape than the first one I pulled out. It's not as sooty. Make sure that end is tight. I threw my feeler gauge down. I don't know why I did that, because I'm going to be checking all these. There we go. What about this one? Yep, right on the money. Alright, let the dogs out. They're going nuts outside. Alright. 2 down, 2 to go. Shorty here. It's gotta be this one. not get the oil filter like I was supposed to, so I can't change the oil tonight. So that's going to be probably tomorrow's job. I got a buddy of mine coming to buy some corn on me. Actually, that's Friday. Tomorrow, I'm bringing my seed tender to the new buyer. He's buying it sight unseen. I sent him some videos of it running and everything else. So hopefully he likes what he sees when I get there, because I told him, hey, you know, she needs a little bit of TLC. Everything works like it should, but you really should come take a look at it before I drive it all the way down to you. I hope I'm taking it, so take his word on that, I guess. But so that's tomorrow, and then selling a load of corn on Friday after work. So I can't change the oil then, and then I'm going to an auction. Going to an auction up in New York on Saturday. So I think Sunday is going to be Sunday will probably be the day I'll get back to this, change the oil out. And probably drain the oil out of the rear end as well, get that changed out too. But this auction I'm going to's got some nice stuff. They got a 1955 Oliver sitting there with a year-round cab. It looks like it's pretty straight. Man, I'd love to take that home, but I don't think finances are going to allow me to. He's got it actually listed on his website for sale for like $9,700. So I'm curious to know if it's going to go for roughly that. This guy's got a habit of if he doesn't get what he wants, if it's like one of his tractors he buys specifically for the auction, then he just will pass on it. He's done that a handful of times. It's not really the way you should run an auction, in my opinion. Because, I mean, if there's a reserve on it, yeah, but he never says anything's got a reserve. And then, is there no? Oh, there we go. Didn't know where the coil wire was. But yeah, if you got a reserve on something, then, you know, let people know before they start bidding on it. That's it. That's tight. That's tight. What are we gonna do next? All right, so next thing I'm gonna do is pull the carburetor out, and I'm gonna rebuild it with that kit there. But before I do that, I'm just curious if she's gonna kick or not with the new tune-up we gave her. So no gas in the tank, obviously. So I have some. I ran out of starting fluid last time. I have some brake cleaner. This will work just as well. So just want to see if she's gonna kick. A little shot of ether in there, brake cleaner, whatever. See what she does. Oh, that's promising. Second time. One more. Hell yeah. All right. Well, we got that going for us. So I guess the next thing we're going to do is unbolt the carburetor here and pull that out, rebuild it. I have had one of these carbs out before on it was a Massey 135. And actually, you know what? It wasn't this carburetor. My buddy's 135, I pulled out to rebuild it for him, and come to find out, couldn't figure out why nothing from the carb kit would fit it. And then we ran the the tag number back, and it came off like a boat or something, but I ended up getting a Marvel Schreiber carb just like this, and I threw it back on his tractor, and that was the problem. It ran way better with that carburetor than one it was supposed to have. So, I'm gonna grab my bench. Never mind the messy garage, we're redoing the house, and this has kind of been the catch-all for everything till the house is done. So, I was going to shut the gas off, but I'm going to unthread that, and we'll let it drain into a bucket. Pulleys, oh, these are already loose. Well, that's good now. Loosen this other one up here. There's two, if you can see that. There's two nuts up top there, two bolts rather. Undo those, and then this carburetor should drop right down. And then I'm not gonna video that because I'm not gonna be able to do it with one hand. So we'll catch you in a couple minutes here. All right, carburetor's out. Pulled the 4 bolts out that separate the bowl here from the rest of the carb. 4 screws rather. So now what we're gonna do is started pulling this pin out already, but this is what's going to hold your float end. Yes, the pliers. Guess I'm using these cheapies. There, so that comes out, float comes off. Take my gasket off. Take the needle valve out of the carburetor here. I don't think that those pliers are going to work. I want to pick, but I think picture all out in my trailer. There she goes. It's stuck in there. So I went to go look at the video I shot of me rebuilding this thing, and I deleted it by accident. So I guess a quick overview. When I pulled this thing apart, it looked very clean. I'm assuming that the owner did in fact drain the fuel out before he parked it. I blew the jets out with some carb cleaner, new needle valve, new seat for the needle valve. Yeah, that's pretty much all I did. Gave it a good cleaning, new gaskets. So she should be good to go. I did trash the cotter pins for the governor and for the choke. So I'm gonna have to get new cotter pins for that. So I'm probably gonna leave this for now, and I'll grab some cotter pins at work. Plus the fact that it's 9:30 at night and I haven't had dinner yet, so we will pick this up tomorrow. Alright, we're back. I'm jumping the gun here. I already started draining the oil on this thing. Carb got put in it yesterday. It's been a couple days since I started the video. I just hadn't had time to get back to it. But I went down, bought the cotter pins for the carburetor, put that back in. I got the oil filter for this, oil, all that. We're draining the oil out right now. Once we get this done, I'm going to take a look at the transmission. He had thought that the boot here might have been leaking or letting water in. It looks solid to me, but I'll pull that apart and take a look in there and see if the oil's got water in it. If it does, we'll drain it out. Go from there. It looks like it's almost done draining out. It takes 5 quarts. Napa 1010 filter is the frame number 2, but I don't use frame filters because those are garbage. So we'll get the oil changed out, and I was supposed to go get gas while I was out, and I totally forgot. So I'm gonna have to make a run out to the gas station to get a couple gallons of gas for this thing. But got the auction going, McFadden's. I was gonna head up there this morning, and I thought about it. The stuff I wanted was already, like the pre-bid on it was already kind of up there. A little more than, well, it was at the higher end of what I wanted to spend. And so I was like, you know what, it's probably not worth the 3-hour ride up one way, towing the truck and towing the trailer to come home empty-handed. So I was like, yeah, well, maybe just watch it on proxy bid, and if it goes cheap. Couple nice Olivers I was looking at, 1955 with a year-round cab, and an 1850 with a Perkins diesel in it. That had it's an open station, Robson canopy. They're both good-looking tractors. Not that I need another one, but I'm a sucker for a nice clean Oliver. But really, what I should be putting my money towards is a skid steer. My wife and I have been talking about getting one for around the house, projects around here for a while now, and then it'd be good to have one to load bales with, another one. So there's an 1845C at this auction. I used to run those at the farm I grew up working at, or actually, no, sorry, the farm I worked on in college had a fleet of those things, and you couldn't kill them. 4BT Cummins in them, they're good machines. So I think the pre-bid on this one's like $3 grand right now, so we'll see what it goes for. And I'm sure I'm gonna get priced out of it quick, but we'll see. See what happens with that. So oil's drained out. Oil filter is right here. This is. I should have grabbed that. Where am I going to set you guys up at? About right here. I had a nice Westfield auger. I think it was like a 40-foot auger that just went. Just watching that, man. I brought $4,500. Super clean. It didn't look like it had much wear on it. I thought about putting a bid out on that, but one, I didn't think it'd be going for that much. For what I'm doing, I can get away with like a beater auger. But two, I don't really need an auger at this point in the game. It'd be nice to have one down the road. Plan on getting some bins and stuff. Over there, I'm not selling out of the my grabbing bins, but also I found out today I lost that cornfield up this way. A guy decided he was gonna. It was just a handshake deal, is all it was, between me and him. And I told him I'd reach back out to him in the spring, get him paid, and I'd start working the ground. But he reached out and said, you know what, I'm going to keep leasing to the guy currently running it because, you know, he's a buddy of mine. I don't want to put him out. And I get that, but, you know, kind of screwed me over a little bit. So it looks like unless I can pick up another field between then and, you know, planting time. I'm only going to have that one field to farm, which is fine because I was thinking about it. Maybe we should concentrate our efforts on getting our hay fields up and running this year. Go from there, but still sucks. I should probably have gloves on for this, but whatever. Oh, there's a little, that's convenient. A little handle there. Perfect. So, I don't know if I said it already, Napa 1010 filter for this. Slide that right back in there. Is there a gasket for it? Yes, there is. Where is that bolt that I just had 2 seconds ago? It's on the step. They do have some nice stuff at this auction, though. There's also I'm a diehard Chevy guy. Discount the fact that I have 2 Dodges, but big Chevy guy. And they have an OBS. It's a '97 Chevy 1500 half ton, obviously half ton. Extended cab, like burgundy, super clean truck, leather interior. You can tell it's taken care of. In the pictures, it looks awesome, but I'm assuming it's a New York truck. The auction's in New York, so who knows what it looks like underneath. But from the pictures, it looks super clean. That would be a great one to take home. But bid on that's already up to $3,600, which is still cheap no matter how you look at it. Because those trucks, those are going to be the next square bodies. Those are going to be holding their value like you wouldn't believe. I mean, they're up there already, but I think that going forward, they're going to be bringing a lot more. All right, I don't know what happened there, but we put the oil in it. I ended up dumping some fuel into the tank. Opened up I took the line off going into the carburetor, and I just let it dump into the catch pan here just to get whatever was in the tank out, flushed it out, because when I opened it up, it did smell pretty bad, like bad gas. There was still some in there. So I think I'm going to try to fire her up now, and we'll see what she says. Also, little auction update. The 1850 went for 65. You know what? Let's walk over. We'll take a look here. Well, this is what I'm looking at right now, is this Alice 185. Because I really just need something with a loader on it. But, so the 1850 went for $6,500. The 1955 went for $75. That was a good deal. Whoever bought that. They had a 77 diesel, went for $3,750. I was watching that. He does like a walkthrough a couple days before the auction just to see what it was there. That was a real sharp looking tractor. He had a Super 99 there too. He's got a salvage yard out back, and I vaguely remember seeing this thing sitting there, and it could be a totally different tractor. I don't know, but Super 99 is a rare tractor. That went for $4,000. That case skid steer that I wanted went for like, I want to say that went for $7,500, something like that. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Yeah, $7,750. So that's more than I wanted to spend. I got fertilizer bills coming up that I got to save up for. But there's some good stuff in this auction. This is the list I saved here. They had a white 270. Let me update that real quick. That just sold. I think that brought like $8,000 or something. Yeah, $7,750 for that white 270. This 255 Series 3 is going to bring a lot of money. And then this Alice 185. It looks like a straight old tractor. There's a couple other old Alices in here. The D19 diesel looks pretty sweet. This Chevy right here, this OBS, is immaculate. $3,600. They had a grain cleaner. That would be awesome if I get a grain cleaner, but with the with that grain dryer I got, I think that's gonna act like a cleaner anyway. You know, because all the residue that's in the tank is just gonna fall through the screen, I feel like, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's just what it looked like when I saw these guys running it on YouTube. But so anyway, now we are good to go. So let's see if she fires off. Key on, choke out. Oh, choke doesn't want to. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Chokes out. Give her a little bit of throttle, and we'll. Oop. That's a good sign. Hey. Fired right up. All right, good deal. Man, she runs good, no smoke. The first time it's run in 2 or 3 years. I wonder if it's charging. .62 volts. I don't know if it's charging or not. I don't know with a 6-volt battery what that is supposed to be when it's charging. voltage regulator screwed up, maybe. Yeah, that's just kind of hanging on there. Oh, it's broken right off. So it looks like it's probably gonna need a voltage regulator. Wonder if I can get one of those from Tractor Supply. All right, well, she fired up, it runs good. It's smoking a little bit now, but I would expect that since it sat for so long, but it runs, it sounds awesome. So I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna dig into it a little bit, see if I can get a voltage regulator for this thing, because it's I don't know what that is. I don't really deal with these too often. That little insulator, that rubber insulator snapped off. So I'll do some digging on that, see what I got to check out to make sure that's working right, because I don't really want to give it back to them not charging. I mean, what's the point of all this if you got to keep jumping it? And then check the oil now that she ran. We'll make sure that we're topped off where we got to be, and then I'll pull this out, and we'll see what the oil looks like in the tranny. So it's a few days later. Sitting at Cat, waiting on parts here at work, and started stitching my video together. What the hell is that? Dragging something. Remembered that my phone died right as I got done that last clip there, so I couldn't finish up the video, but just an update on that. So we got it running. The battery was not charging. I went out and got a voltage regulator for it. Napa had one in stock. With the new voltage regulator, I had power going to the field and armature on the generator, but it still wasn't charging. It was still only at like 62 volts. So never done it before, but I looked into polarizing the generator, which apparently you have to do if there's like a break in the electrical system. If you take the battery out, new voltage regulator, I think, or like if you get some work done on your generator. So I looked into doing that. Basically, you just take a short piece of wire, little jumper wire, and you touch the battery terminal on the regulator with the armature. When you do that, it'll spark, and you'll hear a thud or a clunk on the generator, and that's how you know it's polarized. I guess when you do that, you can switch it from 6 volt positive ground, which is what that was from the factory, to 6 volt negative ground, which is what I did just because it's easier. The guy that owns the tractor, it's that's commonplace now, so I figured I'll just polarize it for that. That way there he doesn't have to worry about it, you know, if he goes to jump it or something like that. But we did that, got it running. I went down to Tractor Supply and got 5 gallons of gear oil, threw that in the transmission because that was actually bone dry when I checked it. And then they actually showed up because they, like I said, they lived right down the road. They showed up as I was putting oil in it. He was all excited. I got it running for him. He was checking it out. He was happy with it. So they left, and I drove it a mile down the road to his house, and ran like a top all the way down. So that's out the door. Yeah, pretty straightforward. The next project that we're gonna do, I think, I have Escobar's M at my house, so that is gonna be getting a 12 volt conversion. I was actually looking online last night at all the kits they offer.
So I think I found one. I'm probably gonna go buy that tonight and get that ordered, and then I can pull that in the garage, and we'll go through that and get that thing running. That hasn't been running in I bet you 5 or 6 years at least. So we'll get that running because they want that there this summer. I don't know if they're gonna pull hay wagons with it or what, but they most likely gonna be pulling feed wagons out to the pasture for the cows with it. But they want that running, so that'll be the next project, and we'll see you on the next one.